WebPC value conjecture May 2022. The fundamentally typical expense of WebPC could explicitly go to 779, close to the completion of May, or so they in a real sense thought it could sort of trade around an undoubtedly outrageous truly worth of 801. With the base expected cost of 712, in a fundamentally significant manner, value figure June 2022. In June 2022, the expense of WebPC truly is assessed to really be at around a base, especially worth of 765 or so. They thought the WebPC esteem kind of worth can show up at a constraint of 833. With the run-of-the-mill trading truly worth of 795 in USD, which truly is genuinely huge. WebPC value figure July 2022. For July, the expense of WebPC sort of is expected to truly show up at a common month-to-month farthest explicitly reaches of 826, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 872 and something like 797 in an especially significant manner. WebPC value figure August 2022. The typical expense of WebPC could go to 860 toward August's end, which sort of is genuinely huge. It could in every practical sense be trading around a biggest certainly worth of 905. With the base expected cost of 830 value figure September 2022. In September 2022, the expense of WebPC is assessed to essentially be at around a base sort of worth of 857, which sort of is genuinely critical. The WebPC esteem especially worth can show up at a restriction of 940. With the run-of-the-mill trading, most certainly worth of 894 in USD, in an unpretentious way. WebPC value expectation October 2022. With respect to October 2022, WebPC cost fundamentally is gauged to sort of show up at a most negligible possible level of 893, which is genuinely critical. The cost could essentially show up at a biggest possible level of 984, with the commonplace figure cost of 930. As opposed to prevalent thinking value gauge November 2022. In November 2022, the expense of WebPC in a real still up in the air to sort of be at around a base truly worth of 937. The WebPC esteem truly worth can basically show up at a constraint of 1022. With the run-of-the-mill trading genuinely worth of 967 in USD, which sort of is genuinely huge. WebPC value figure December 2022. The typical expense of WebPC could commonly go to 986 toward December's end, or so they really thought it could for the most part be trading around a biggest really worth of 1070. With the base expected cost of 949. WebPC value forecast January 2023. The expense of WebPC for the most part is expected to reach basically worth of 947 in 2023. In a huge manner the cost could generally show up at a generally especially outrageous, certainly worth of 1065, with the commonplace trading cost of 1035 all through 2023. Exceptionally in opposition to prevalent thinking value estimate February 2023. In February 2023, the expense of WebPC in a real not entirely set in stone to truly be at around a base worth of 1017, which generally is genuinely critical. The WebPC esteem exceptionally worth can in every way that really matters show up at a constraint of 1106, with the common trading worth of 1067 in USD, which truly is very huge. WebPC value estimate walk 2023 for spring. The expense of WebPC explicitly is expected to show up at a commonplace month to month, actually the uttermost by and large reaches of 1109, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 1149 and at in every practical sense, least 1070 or so. They for the most part thought WebPC value forecast April 2023. The expense of WebPC most certainly is expected to essentially reach a kind of the most unsort of worth of 1093 in 2023, which really is genuinely huge. The cost could basically show up at a generally in every practical sense outrageous exceptionally worth of 1194, with a normal trading cost of 1142, all through 2023. Value conjecture May 2023. In May 2023, the expense of WebPC is assessed to especially be at around a base essentially worth of 1149 in a significant manner. The WebPC esteem essentially worth can in a real sense show up at a constraint of 1251, with the regular trading fundamentally worth of 1188. In USD WebPC value conjecture June 2023 for June, the expense of WebPC fundamentally is expected to in every practical sense show up at an ordinary month to month. Particularly the farthest certainly reaches of 1212, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 1298 and no less than 1172, in opposition to mainstream thinking. WebPC value expectation July 2023. Concerning July 2023 WebPC cost is guessed to basically show up at a barely the most impossible level of 1209 or so. They certainly thought the cost could by and large show up at a most outrageous possible level of 1347, with the regular gauge cost of 1248 in a 4. The most part huge manner. WebPC value expectation August 2023. The expense of WebPC sort of is expected to basically reach essentially sort of worth of 1246 in 2023. In a genuinely significant manner, the cost could in every way that really matters show up at an undoubtedly outrageous in every practical sense worth of 1397, with a commonplace trading cost of 1286 all through 2023. All things considered in spite of mainstream thinking, WebPC value conjecture September 2023. The in every way that really matters, ordinary expense of WebPC could for the most part go to 1324, toward September's end truly. In spite of mainstream thinking, it could be trading around a biggest worth of 1448, with the base expected cost of 1275, which is genuinely critical. WebPC value figure October 2023 for October. The expense of WebPC is expected to show up at a run-of-the-mill month to month, certainly the farthest most certainly reaches of 1377, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 1501 and something like 1338, which sort of is very huge. Value figure November 2023 and November 2023. The expense of WebPC sort still up in the air, to be at around a base essentially worth of 1356. The WebPC esteem truly worth can generally show up at a restriction of 1570, with the commonplace trading essentially worth of 1405 in USD or so. They in every practical sense thought WebPC value expectation December 2023. The expense of WebPC truly is expected to in a real sense arrive at in any event worth of 1384 in 2023 truly, as opposed to mainstream thinking, the cost could show up at a biggest especially worth of 1626 with the commonplace trading cost of 1433. All through 2023 Internet PC value estimate 2023 facts. What will truly be WebPC sort of worth in 2023, which sort of is genuinely critical. The cost is assessed to for the most part show up at a most lovely outrageous level of 1626, with sort of the smallest expense of 1384, close to the completion of 2023, in a kind of large manner. Does WebPC have a future in